By 1953, the dust in London had largely settled. With rationing easing up and the coronation dominating the news, the public felt confident they knew exactly how the Second World War had been won. For 8 years, the accepted history was a straightforward narrative. The government released the battle plans, the casualty counts, and the major strategic decisions, leading everyone to assume the archives were essentially closed. Then the presses spat out a story that sounded completely absurd. It read like cheap fiction, yet it was sold as absolute fact. The author was a former naval intelligence officer named Ewen Montagu. His claim? That British intelligence had dressed a dead body as an officer, chained a briefcase of fake documents to its wrist, and let it wash ashore to trick the German high command. If a deception this bizarre actually worked and saved countless lives, it begs an obvious question. Why would the mastermind behind it wait nearly a decade to take the credit? To understand the delay, we have to look at the reality on the ground. Invading southern Europe meant throwing thousands of exposed troops straight at fortified enemy beaches. The Allies desperately needed the Axis forces looking the wrong way. This diagram illustrates the trap. While the actual Allied force prepared to strike Sicily, a fake diversionary route pointing toward Greece and Sardinia was carefully laid out in the documents carried by the corps. Back in London, operators watched the board in agonizing silence. They waited for weeks, combing through intercepted German communications to confirm the enemy had actually found the body and swallowed the bait. If even a single rumor of the setup leaked out before the invasion, the entire Allied force would be marching into a slaughter. The silence had to be absolute. But the silence didn't end on VE Day. While the soldiers came home, the files detailing the corpse deception remained locked away deep inside naval intelligence. This flowchart breaks down a core espionage rule, protecting sources and methods. Exposing a trick collapses multiple active operations relying on it. However, intelligence has a shelf life. As the Cold War escalated and technology evolved, dropping bodies became obsolete. By 1953, it aged out. Ewen Montagu didn't go rogue. His manuscript was a meticulously authorized strategic declassification by the very government he worked for. Whispers of the dead body were already starting to circulate in political circles. By putting the architect of the operation in charge of writing the bestseller, the state ensured they kept a tight grip on exactly what details reached the public. They turned a mandatory bureaucratic disclosure into a highly profitable, perfectly timed publicity campaign. The strategy worked perfectly. The story was splashed across every major paper, captivating a public hungry for thrilling tales of national ingenuity. Writers took note. The sheer amount of clinical detail Montagu provided, creating fake theater tickets and forged love letters to build a false identity, gave authors the blueprint for the gritty, hyper-realistic spy thrillers that dominated the next few decades. Before this release, popular history viewed the war largely as a clash of tanks and straightforward battlefield courage. Now, ordinary citizens realized that major turning points hinged on elaborate street-level cons. The government had gone on record to prove that their actual operating procedures were stranger than anything a novelist could invent. Ultimately, our understanding of the past is a byproduct of bureaucratic timing. The story of Mincemeat proves that history is defined by the moment a government decides a secret has finally outlived its